Good evening, folks. This is another Confederate Minute with IsenhourSpeaks. It's Thursday. I hope you will enjoy the topic that we're going to have because we'll go back to the early American, come all the way to 2019 here in Virginia. First, I want to start off with, it's funny how you go down into a crowd of people, let's say some snowflakes protesting you as an example, or you go to a college or you go somewhere where people are uncomfortable with the word Confederacy. Those Confederates. Oh my gosh, those evil Confederates. Confederates. Ah! Well, did you know that America used to be a Confederacy? We'll get into that in a minute, but let's first of all, what does the word Confederacy actually mean? What does it mean? All you snowflakes out there, what does it mean? This is such a trigger word for you. It means joint compact. Look it up. Of course, I know you don't use dictionaries and stuff like that, but just look it up. It means joint compact. It's that simple. America has been a confederacy from the beginning. After the Revolution of 1776, we were governed by the Articles of Confederation. We were a confederacy. In fact, I bet none of you, in fact, I actually can't, off the top of my head, name the 10 men who were presidents before George Washington was. Did you know that America had 10 presidents before George Washington? I bet you little snowflakes didn't know that one. And for you people who are in the history, most Americans have forgotten that. Under the Articles of Confederation, which ran this country after we seceded was the word, from Great Britain, and they gave us the individual treaties. Each state had its individual sovereignty. We came together as a confederacy, a joint compact. So first of all, get rid of this. You hear the word Confederate, and all of a sudden you talk about evil, and that's bad. It's just nonsense. It's just another rewrite of history these Marxists do. Now, we had, like I said, America originally, with the Articles of Confederation, we were a confederacy. And all during American history, we have had tons of confederacies. Things like the Great Iroquois Confederacy. We had at least 15 other Native American confederacies. Things like the Delaware. Even here in Virginia, we had the Powhatan. These were confederacies of tribes, Native American tribes. And in fact, after the Constitution was established, we had what was called the New England Confederacy. They were protesting the War of 1812. They didn't want to fight the British. So they actually tried to form their own confederacy and leave, that's right, secede the Union. That was the New Englander folks. They actually tried to form this confederacy to leave. And so the word confederacy is just a made-up word in the minds of liberals. Is something that we're not supposed to do. But it's a wonderful word because it means that you're getting, like it says, a joint compact. You're coming together and having a confederacy of thought, a confederacy of state, a confederacy of purpose. Now, I just said the War of 1812, the New England Confederacy. They did not actually succeed, but they threatened to succeed. But they did not, the truth is, they did not pay for the War of 1812. They honked and heened about that kind of stuff. In fact, they refused to send troops to Virginia to defend the Virginia when the capital itself was being burned. The New England states refused to send troops south. And they were not part of the famous Andrew Jackson down the War of the Battle of New Orleans and that kind of stuff. So they were actually boycotting, if you will, the war. They actually still were trading with England. In other words, they were traitors. In our Confederacy, we had traitors amongst us, and they were the New England states who still wanted to have the greed, the Yankee greed, above the unity of the United States. Now, did you know that Patrick Henry did not support the U.S. Constitution when it came out in the 1789? I bet y'all didn't know that. You know, the give me life or give me liberty, give me death or give me liberty. That Patrick Henry, he didn't support the Constitution because he wanted us to stay a confederacy. In fact, if you're familiar with American history early on, the actual Articles of Confederation, they had formed the committees that they were going to go and kind of update the Articles of Confederation and bring some new things in it. And they decided to scrap the whole thing. Madison and all these folks, Jefferson, all of them decided to scrap the whole thing and go with what we call the Constitutional Convention. Now, I'm not going to argue one way about it. We are Americans. We have a Constitution. I love it. But keep in mind that we were a confederacy. We were governed under the Articles of Confederacy. Now, one of the things that we have a period of that we're in right now. We are in it's kind of a weird thing. We actually are, instead of forming a confederacy right now, and you've had people talk about the states, the southern states, we need to secede, or even Virginia, we need to secede from occupied Northern Virginia as an example. And other things, in California, we've always said, let's just get California and leave it to themselves, let them secede. But there's another thing in addition, not in addition, but in lieu of secession, called nullification. Nullification was something that actually was early on in our history. Mr. Jefferson, after the Constitution was ratified, there were states and stuff that tried nullification. What they basically were meaning was, they were states that said, we're not going to do what the federal government tells us to do. And there was a lot of talk of this, that, and the other, and they were saying that it shouldn't be done. It was like, if you go back to the Kentucky resolutions as an example of nullification, you've been taught in American history that nullification is not something that we do. But let me tell you, folks, yes, we do. And if you don't believe me, then tell me how Colorado can come up one day and say, we, Colorado, want to smoke pot, and we're going to legalize pot so our citizens in the state of Colorado can smoke pot. Federal government, what are you going to do about it? It's called nullification. Technically, the federal government could send troops in and to, I guess, arrest all the people smoking pot in Colorado, but no one's ever done that. Another nullification that we have going on right now is these sanctuary cities, where an entire state like California says, well, we're not going to obey the immigration laws. We're a sanctuary city. We're a sanctuary state. Well, the federal government could theoretically go out there and put that rebellion down, but of course no one's done that. So nullification is the new form of secession. It's another form of secession that's legal under our Constitution, and that's what we should be doing. Now, let's kind of take it back from the history where we had in the early years where nullification was used, and not effectively. It was not effectively used. But in today's world, it is very effectively used. We are now in this situation where we're calling nullification is separating ourselves from either a state government or city government or a federal government. Right now, here in the Commonwealth, we are declaring Second Amendment sanctuary counties. That's basically a form of nullification where the counties are saying to the governor of the state of Virginia, sir, if you people in Richmond want to pass these gun laws that are going to come seize our guns and make us outlaws, we, the county of, name the county, we actually, Pennsylvania last night, did a sanctuary city last night. Appomattox County has done it. We actually have now 7 counties in the state of Virginia which are sanctuary cities for the Second Amendment. So the sheriffs in that area, which are the law enforcement officers, they're saying to Richmond, we will not enforce these silly gun laws you think that you're going to pass in Richmond, this General Assembly. That's an example. And incidentally, we're living it right now. We have more more counties right now here in Virginia that are using this nullification process as sanctuary cities to say we are going to protect our citizens against these crazy gun laws you liberals are thinking about passing in Richmond. We're just not going to force it. So that is something that's happening as we speak right now. And guess what? I'm in the middle of it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Someone mentioned today, well, if we could do that to the gun laws, can we do that for, let's say, abortion? We absolutely. We could actually have a county that says we are a sanctuary county that would not allow abortion to be taking place on our soil. And they can pass health codes and stuff that shut down the abortion clinics within their county. Now, technically speaking, the governor could get an army together and come to that county and enforce a law and say, yes, we are going to enforce the gun laws, and we're also going to enforce the abortion laws, and you're going to have abortions in your county. But it's not likely, because who are they going to get? The National Guard? You think the National Guard is going to go in the counties and start hurting and shooting their own citizens and their own brothers and sisters? I don't think so, Governor. Well, let's take this a little bit step further. What about these monuments? Why don't we have a sanctuary county that says we are going to protect? In other words, we're not going. If you change the law in Virginia that says our monuments can be taken down, we're not going to accept that. That's a sanctuary law. And so that's something to look at right now, where the individual counties can say, our statutes, our veteran statutes, are not going to be taken down just because somebody says that they want to do it. Right? They're all upset about it. Folks, this is a real revolution that we're in. You want to be in a revolution? We're in a revolution. Get involved with the guns rights people. The Virginia Citizens Defense League is a great group to join. And I think on the Eisenhower Speaks, I put one of their posts up there. Go to them, join $25 a month. $25 a year. And they give you all kinds of email updates about these sanctuary counties and what's happening right now. In fact, right now I just got an email that I believe, I think there are 12 counties in the next 4 or 5 days in Virginia. They're having their county meetings, and they're going to bring up whether they want to be a sanctuary county or not. And it looks like most of them, if not all of them, will pass that. Now, you go to occupied Northern Virginia as an example. Let's just say the Alexandria. Or Halifax County. They may not become sanctuary. That's all right. It doesn't matter. But we have sanctuary counties. In fact, Dinwiddie, right down here in Richmond area, became a sanctuary county last night. And we also have Chesterfield that's looking at this, and Powhatan's looking at this. We also have Prince George looking at this. So there are counties as I'm speaking right now in Virginia. The county commissioners are passing laws and saying we are a sanctuary Second Amendment county. We will not enforce the laws that this governor thinks he's going to pass. You got it, folks? It's very important. This is real. And it's American. This is all American because Americans, we are a very freedom, liberty, loving people. It's that simple. Freedom, loving, liberty, people. And these liberals, Marxists, all this want to take our rights away. But we're not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. So if you want to get involved in people stopping taking your guns, or if you want to get involved in future things like maybe making a sanctuary county for monuments, veterans monuments, or a sanctuary city, a sanctuary county for, let's say, kicking the abortion clinics out of your county. These are things to get involved with right now. If you go and join, actually on the Facebook, you can look on the Virginia Citizens Defense League. And I have some of those posts on my Eisenhower Speaks page. Go to there and you can see the counties that are going to meet in the next couple of days and vote. You can participate. You can go down there and put in your citizen's voice in there and tell your county commissioners that you do want to be a sanctuary county. Second Amendment, all types of things. So that's what's happening right now, the Second Amendment. Folks, we can win this. We are not defeated. Yes, there's some Democrats won in the legislature. Yes, we have just a despicable human being they call the governor and the attorney general and the lieutenant general. They are just despicable people. They're hateful. In fact, the governor is a baby murderer. He wants to murder babies in the mama's wombs. So I mean, that's what we have. But we have remedies for this, and that is called the nullification. And right now, the nullification is working for us, making sanctuary city or sanctuary counties Second Amendment counties. Very important. So get involved. You want to keep your guns? Get involved. You hunters, get involved because they're coming after you too. They're going to start saying that your children under 18 cannot hunt with you. In other words, you can't take your child out and teach them the traditions that your granddaddy and great-grandfather passed down through your family. It's very important, people. They're also coming after the dog hunters. They're saying that, it's immoral to send dogs out there to chase deer around. They're coming after all of us here, and we have to bind together, and we have to beat these people. And we can do it. We have the numbers. Do you realize that there's over 2 million gun owners? I mean, registered gun owners in the state of Virginia? That's huge. That's an army. I'm saying, folks, we have a winnable situation here, and I just look forward to talking to y'all next week and maybe updating you about this. But keep in mind, American history is our history. And if you read about the early Confederacies, if you read about the early nullification programs, if you read about how we are Americans and what we do as Americans, it all makes sense to you. And it comes alive when you start reading and educating yourself that you are an American citizen. That is a God-given right, and it's amazing how we just want to lay down and let liberals take away our rights. I'm not going to let them take away my rights. And if we have millions of us standing together, they can't take away our rights. So, folks, we look forward to talking to you next week. Have a good time. Good night. Bye-bye.